So
the next thing that we were doing though is we had information that the town we were going back to was going. Do we know that they were going to be the host of that big thing? Like that's why we were going back.
Yeah.
Right?
we were. What's
Hang
it?
on. Well,
We were going to
Did we go from Kundrakar to Sussex to Chronos?
I think
I
so.
I think we did because we took a caravan, right?
I think that's true.
Yeah, but you all, the information that you had gotten from those two people before I joined the game was that like this thing is going to be happening in Chronos that's going to decide the future of the Torchline, and so that was the timeline we were on.
That's
we're like,
right. That's
now we need
right.
to head back to town. So
Yeah.
yes, AJ, Tracy, and I were kind of just along for the ride of like, we don't really have anything further to go do, so let's just metagame D&D.
No, I thought
I
remember we got that information from Slates. We were going to Chronos, but we have because it's a torch line, so it's a straight line.
I'm pretty sure that we went back to Sussex first.
Yeah, but I
could
think
be-
so.
So I have a note that we did do the caravan thing next.
Yeah.
It says 10 weeks till meetup in Chronos, so we must have gone to Sussex.
So from Kundrakar, it took us 3 months minus 10 weeks to get to Sussex. Hang on.
We had a big long stretch of kind of just like you walk the road, and I think we had some random things, and we got to the first town, and then
Devin.
Cutting in and out, Devin.
All right, yeah, I need to.
So anyway, while he fixes that, I have a note that says that the caravan leaves in 2 weeks, and it would take 6 weeks to get there.
Okay.
So, yeah, we must be in 6 weeks. Actually,
Go ahead.
I do have one more important note here.
Yeah.
Rurik goes on a gambling spree for that 2 weeks. And he had a special gambling power that lets him make NPCs.
This is important.
This is, yeah.
Remember this.
He can let NPCs, or make NPCs that aren't willing to give up with something, like enter a gambling thing for that thing. And so he wagers the Gulfius sap, which we talked about earlier, that's like the sap from an undead tree. He built up the story of it, and there was someone named Quistis that put up some suit of armor that's from some genie or something. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but my note says that Rurik just wakes up days later in a part of the town he doesn't recognize with a note from Quistis that says, "Thanks for a good time," and the sap. So yeah, the Gulfius sap is no longer with us. It is with some other NPC.
Yep.
Oh.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
And Milo had the Gulfius sapling, so that is also no longer.
Oh, right, because Milo had left at that point?
Yeah, Milo had left at the same time as Nova.
Right, okay.
And
Was that the person
then
that
later turned up with Althen when we fought them again.
Yes, in the future from this moment.
In the future, yes. The future past. The future past, perfect, imperfect. Transitive. It's fine.
Let's see. So I don't remember much. I don't really remember anything from this first Sussex. Were we just going through Sussex?
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, apparently we were waiting there for 2 weeks because we had to wait for this caravan to leave.
Yeah, I think then we just fast-tracked to Chronos.
Did we meet with the daggers at the time? Is this the first time when like Vayne and Rurik climbed into the
That was in Chronos, I think.
That's what I had
thought. The
thought.
window climbing was in Chronos.
You're right.
But
yeah,
before then, I'm like, did we meet with?
Did we make any mistakes in Sussex?
I mean,
first
yes.
time?
That was a big one.
Boy, I hope Jared can show up at some point in
Let's
this
see.
and help fill in the gaps.
Not this one.
I mean, I've got my notes. My notes just
Can you
say
hear me?
basically.
Yes.
Yes. What?
We can hear Devin.
Now we can't.
Oh, now we can't.
How about now?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got to fix one more thing. Mute and push to talk are both spacebar, and it doesn't like those both being the same thing.
Oh
I wonder
no.
why.
Let's see.
Yeah, the only other thing that I have in Sussex is that Karen, who is Sharwin's
Right.
mom,
Yeah.
tells us she still wants to discredit some official, which was her thing in the past.
Huh.
But we turn her down, and she doesn't know where Sharwin and Bradford are. So you guys couldn't have talked to the Daggers because they weren't there. And yeah, so again, I think we just fast tracked to Chronos.
Yep, that seems probably likely because I don't remember anything from that, so it seems pretty likely.
Yeah. So at the, am I good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At the, if I remember correctly, like I'm pretty sure Suches was kind of just an in-between stop where we didn't really have anything major that happened there, other than we just were like, this is where we're gonna continue to go. Minus that stuff. I think Oren, because Oren also went and gambled, and that's where I got like 270 gold from some elf somewhere.
Right.
Started
That's
the
right.
fortune that would ruin us.
Oh my gosh.
As
Yep.
they moved along.
Yep. I remember now the dichotomy of Orin winning big and Rook losing everything.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I think Vane actually spent that time building up a legend and reputation. I think that's what he spent that time on. It's the only time I think he's been able to spend time on doing that in a city. He tried doing it on a boat recently, but
But yeah, so we were also, did Scout ever come back, or is Scout just gone?
I think Scout is
Just gone.
gone.
He said, resetting my Wi-Fi and phone, my mic isn't working, be back soon.
Okay.
Fun.
Yeah, so the big thing that was happening at Chronos that we were heading to was that once every however long, all the cities come together and send representatives to one city, and they basically have a council where the people can come and air their grievances and things like how much the city guard is going to be paid for the year, and how it's like one big budgeting conference, and changing laws if people think they should be changed, and people are proposing things to be changed about the way the cities are run.
Very political.
Yeah, and all that was happening, and so we were headed there to look at that. And yeah.
And so we arrive, and we there's a large man that we were paid to like protect this caravan on the way.
Yeah,
and we arrive at the place he gives it to, and it's Barnabas Reverine, who is one of the palace owners or something like that.
He was just he was just a rich person in the city, basically one of the noble stuff though.
Yeah,
Okay.
influential due to his wealth and
Right, like his
diplomatic events.
his mansion or whatever was chosen to be the location of this whole thing.
Because of all the money and influence he spent on getting it.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Spent his fortune. And
Leaving him penniless.
But the idea was that if he could hold this here, there was something he could get out of it. He could, he was either
Rebound.
getting paid for it, or he could like twist around the. He'd have the opportunity to talk and request something that would get him. Having this event here was going to offset all of his fortune that he spent on getting it set there.
Yep.
And so then we go to sell. Sorry, I have another note here. We go to sell some dwarven scroll case that we had, and we meet Nellium, who is a ranking member of the Order of Law in Chronos. So he's like one of the head defenders of the city or something like that.
Hello?
Yep.
And,
The head of the Order of Law in the city, I believe.
and we tell him
Yeah,
about
he was basically running the cops.
What's that?
So he was basically in charge. He was running the police department.
Yeah. And so we tell him about Kundrakar, and he says he's leaving tonight to head there.
Yeah, he got really excited that he just took off, and we were just like, "Oh, all right, that guy seems super into it."
At the time we were just like, okay, whatever. I'm sure nothing bad's gonna happen.
So we went back to What's-His-Face's house, and we convinced him to, like, hey, let us run security for this event, because it became pretty clear that he didn't have any money. He also didn't have any people working at the events. He didn't have any guards like that a regular noble house would have, because it was broke down. He had like one guard that was some old guy that worked with him.
And importantly, the reason why we're doing this is because we know that smokework is going to hit this event. So we wanted to take control of security here because there's no security here. And then smokework's just going to hit the event like a missile straight into a sandcastle.
How's my audio now?
All right. Yes.
Yay. I have, real quick, one note from Sussex, the second journey, which is just a beautiful thing that I've carried with me ever since, which is that Jared gave us two options for which caravan we would take, and we were like, is there a third option? Is there anyone else? And I distinctly remember him putting his face in his hands and saying, you give the party two options for which caravan they could take, and they demand a third option. No caravan. And then after you did bully him into giving us a third option, we went with the second one.
I can't remember any of this.
It was a cushy ride and it cost us money, or it was a rough ride, but we get paid because we're their security.
What was the proposed third option?
There wasn't. We were just like, where's the third caravan, Jared? And Jared's like, there is no third caravan.
Scout just said. Sorry, maybe I misunderstood.
I thought he started to give us a third option, and then we didn't go with it.
I think he came up with something on the fly that was worse than either of the two, just because it was like, there's some old horses or something along those lines. Yeah. It was like, fine, there's a third option, but
you could walk.
Yeah. But back in the Chronos city, we were there, because we were trying to catch and apprehend smokework to try and, at that time we were like, well, clearly there's some structure in here somewhere, and we can find the top of it and cut the head off the snake, and then this whole thing will die. And so we're like, if we can work security here, not only will it stop this whole thing from being destroyed, but we can maybe figure out, who smokework is and get rid of them. So we had the idea of, let's go to the guards of the city and see if we can get some help for security for the event, because we're not really enough through this whole thing. So we went back to the guards.
Also known as the cops.
And we found that things were, the order of law, we found things were in pretty much complete disarray, because their order of law, the leader of the order of law had run off to a mountain somewhere for some unknown reason, and they didn't know why he would leave them in the middle of this. But the person we had talked to about Kundrakar was the person that was supposed to be running everything, and he had run off to the mountains, and so now the people we were trying to get to help us had no leader and were completely disheveled.
I think there was also something we might be skipping over here.
There was a very important thing.
Very big deal.
Which is...
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we learn that yet? Sorry, that's not the part that I was talking about.
Hang on. No, but I think we do learn about Marinto once Barnabas decides to let us do security, because he's like, he was also keeping her safe from
That's right.
her from the witch.
So
Did
Marinto,
you know who was after her? I mean, smokework was obviously part of who was after her.
I think it was just an in general. So Marinto is so the way that it works is there's the three continents, and then there's the ocean between the three of them, and the fleet is a kind of like the fourth continent of the world, where the fleet is a conglomeration of ships and people that all are their own government out on the ocean. That had one king, and that king had a princess, Marinto, and there was a witch that kind of worked with the royal family, and a long time ago, when Marinto was born, they had used that as kind of a symbol of, as long as this princess, as long as Marinto is alive, that is the king's kind of the divine signal that this king is the right ruler, has the right to be in charge. And things have started to go south, and so the king, out of paranoia of someone killing his daughter so that they could usurp the throne, sent her away, and she was being stored in Barnabas's, which is the guy that's running this place that's holding the event on his grounds. And so he said, if you guys are going to be security here, you also need to know that you're also guarding this princess on whose life holds the fate of the leader of the fleet.
And I wanna quickly slide in and go. Paranoia makes it sound like you didn't have justification, or intel as to the fact that people were definitely looking to assassinate Morinto. I believe at this point we were already aware that there was relatively concrete information that Morinto's life was under threat, and that was why Morinto was sent here. And I think we knew about the witch.
I don't know about the witch, but my note says that, someone infiltrated the compound 2 weeks ago. They climbed the wall, and so, we were supposed to keep her safe for the next few weeks and discover who was behind it.
I think we knew about the witch. I think Morinto told us, that they were concerned about the witch.
I don't think they were concerned about the witch at that point. I think it was...
I think Morinto was. I feel like she called that out as being someone important.
I remember it being important, but I thought at the beginning it was like, oh, the witch was helping in some way because the witch.
Oh, that's right.
To find
the witch wasn't a starting.
Oh, the thing on
amulet.
the amulet, yeah.
Yes, which
we decided the witch was a problem.
Yes.
Because we were like, right. They gave you a what? They gave you a what that lets them what now?
Yeah.
So to rewind a little bit, so we were watching Morinto, and over the night, sorry, I have to die here in a second. Someone kept sneaking in, and the person that they had said tried to sneak over the wall before eventually came back, and we caught them as they jumped in the window and basically just beat the shit out of them pretty quickly. And it turned out that it was a person named Simajito that was trying to keep an eye on Morinto and keep him safe for their own reasons. Like, they liked Morinto? Was that the reason?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. They were like secret boyfriend girlfriend thing.
Yeah, and he was just completely and utterly inept.
Useless.
At doing anything helpful.
Especially stealth.
Especially stealth.
I have a note that the cloaked figure crit scout, so I don't know about you saying he's completely inept.
He crit scout, but then we just it became pretty clear that because I remember he said he had this medallion of protection from the witch, and we asked well, is it broken? Because you just got the shit kicked out of you in the corner here.
Yeah. He crit oddly, and then oddly nearly blew his face off with a shotgun.
Yeah. But we ended up folding him into the alright, you can help us keep track of Morinto because clearly you're on the side of keeping her alive. And then I was gone for a lot of other stuff that happened. There was a lot of kind of political talk of who was going to do what for the event, and we found out that it's propped up as this thing where the lower people can come and talk to those in charge and get things to change, when in reality it's kind of like the upper families send people that they've paid, and they get to stand at the front of the line, and they get to ask for things that help the people in charge, and nothing really major ever changes.
More than that, it was the negotiations happened prior to the event by influential figures. So while it started out as a place where people could come to make their case and beg for change, it started becoming more of a scripted event because all the negotiations happen in advance, but it's still the legal proceedings for it. So it became more of a show, but it's still a court of a kind, if that makes sense. Like the approvals that happen there are still real, and it's just that they were.
Things are decided, but the peasants can come and have their voice heard thing was kind of was pushed away a while ago.
Yep.
I recall. Sorry.
I really wanted to note one thing, which is that at the same time that I think we were trying to talk to the Order of Law, also, someone was approached by oh my gosh, I just saw it in Paul's notes, but then I closed it. I think it was Rurik that got approached by the guy who's like the I'm gonna say the person who wants to try to make sure that magical items aren't misused.
That bless.
Yes.
That was me. I asked Barnabas, who can I go talk to about, because I wanted to find some magical items, just because I thought it would be fun. And he pointed me toward this guy. And so I met this shady figure in the market, and I was like, hey, do you have some magical items? Like, I'm looking for some cool stuff. And he's like, well, do you? I'm looking for some cool stuff. And it turns out that he works for an organization called Bless, which basically finds and collects and catalogs or something with them, but powerful magical items kind of out of circulation and into just safety. Okay. And so I didn't get anything from him.
Oh, but we got him some things. Some information specifically about one Goltius sap.
Yeah, we did tell him about that. What I recall of this section of the arc was we had these 2 weeks in game in which we needed to figure out who Smokework was, who was working with them, what their plan of attack was, what they were going to do, and we accomplished absolutely nothing. Like of true value on that front. Like just in increasing desperation. I remember oddly at one point proposing standing in the middle of town and just yelling what we knew in the hopes that someone would either come forward or try to kill us.
We found some things.
And I do believe Rurik spent much of many days going around giving the key, trying to find the daggers by just whistling the key call signs.
Yeah, constantly giving out numbers for things. Yeah.
We got very sus of some of a noble family who had connections maybe to Smokework. And oddly went to the dude's house and
Khalil,
wound up
that's the dude's name from Bless.
Yes. I don't remember the name of the dude that oddly went to go harass. Because all that happened there was that she got into a fight with him.
Oh,
because he was also a scholar of the Fae with long opinions.
Not a fight, but a yelling match over what the actual correct way to look at Fae creatures is in a scientific.
But this guy's apprentice was like hanging out with Epic. Like no, Epic was kind of. Hang on. I thought that was the. Wait a
This
sec.
person's apprentice was a daughter of that noble family that we thought was.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Oddly went up to argue about the Fae, and I stayed behind and tried to make friends with this bookish girl who didn't like to really speak that much, and it didn't get that far.
That's right.
So now, the one thing that was important about that conversation is that the topic was, are dryads evil or not? Oddly coming down firmly on the case of, they might not be evil, but they are fucked up, and if you don't respect the power of the wilds, it will rip you apart and doesn't care about your morality. And this dude being like, no, dryads are great, love dryads. This will be important later.
I feel like I should swing back and note that, just to make it clear with the nobility thing, the reason we felt that this noble house was associated with Smokework is because we'd been assailed by invisible assassins multiple times. And we had eventually narrowed down that I think the front of this noble house, like the gate was silently opening at some times of during the day, and we saw, and they would be like silently open and silently close, and oh, spooky ghosts or invisible assassins.
Yeah, at some point I saw. At some point I was able to see footprints, but I lost their track pretty quickly, and so. Yeah, some invisible people were coming out and back and forth.
Yeah, and I think we got the lead because Audley was researching, like, noble families who had some kind of, like...
Yeah.
I think we knew someone was an elf, so she was researching, like, prominent elven families in the area.
Genasi ties.
Oh yeah, it was
because it
Genasi.
was Fire Genasi specifically that.
Right.
Because at that point we were just trying to figure out who was trying to murder Marinto
Yep.
for the most part.
Because we
I
hadn't.
gotta take a break and put my daughter to bed real quick.
Yeah, no
Go
worries.
for it.
It takes like 5 minutes.
It's just you.
Yeah.
Kelly out in the other room. Go to sleep, and then come back.
Literally what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be myself. Don't
No, go. Tell her. Okay, let me tell you a story about Rurik.
5 minutes. I can't remember if I think that at that time we were not putting Smokework and Assassins of Marinto under the same
I think
umbrella.
that's true.
We were like, there are
That
two
was
problems. We have to deal with both problems.
Uh-huh.
We still haven't gotten any leads about Smokework, and there's all these assassins.
So many
Yeah, I
assassins.
remember Jared ended the session, and he it was I think it was the one before I missed the next one, but he has to go around the table and say what we think was going on, and I was just like, I don't know, this person might be this bad. This person, we're working for them. They seem good, but they could also be bad. This person seems bad, but they might be good. And I just want to be able to like trust somebody again. Like that was my take on the current situation.
Yeah, I think
Also,
that.
when Kelly gets back, I would like to, if we could take a minute, where I can explain the grand tangent. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think I remember that being asked too, and I think it was like during I think that was around the Epic timeline, because like when
Mhm.
Epic when we had found the forgery kits
Yeah.
and the disguise kits, I think when that question was asked.
Yes, and I remember when that was, because that was when I think Audley was staying in a tavern. I don't remember why. But I remember Audley went
Oh
and
my
listened
gosh.
at the door that we thought Epic was in and heard the sounds of lovemaking, and being Audley went, all right, I'm out. But came back later and snuck in and found disguise and forgery kits
Yeah,
Hmm.
we.
there.
Oh man, I remember a few things from that in. I think.
I remember why. I think we were. I'm not sure how this came about, but I think it ended up that we had sort of ambiguously booked a room there so as to have a sort of an extra, somewhat secret place to assemble. Like if we needed. Yeah.
We
And
had
receive
booked
messages.
We booked two different rooms. One was the one that we used for our secret meets, our clandestine meets. That's what I was trying to say. The other one was the one that Vane booked in the high cost noble area, and had that encounter with the person at the desk that had a difficult time pronouncing Mentheliara in the Zone of Truth. Do you remember that?
Dude.
I don't remember that. But that was awesome.
But we were trying to interrogate this person as to Epic, like, have we seen these people?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we were like, okay, yeah, Epic is in this hotel, this place where we gained information as to where they were staying. But then I remember that, like, I think we busted out of that place for some reason.
We did.
I remember that,
We did flee out the window of like the second story rooms. I don't remember why.
I remember that Audley, I think, only found the forgery and disguise kits like she got a cursory glance of that room because she broke into it.
Yep.
And then
That was
people
why.
pursued her like 30 seconds later, and so
Yeah.
she just looked around and was like,
I
"Disguise
remember
kit,"
now.
and then climbed out the window.
I think I remember, because okay, I remember. Vane was in there, and then I think Vinaya joined, and then we
Yeah.
decided the Zone of Truth thing, and I think at the same time, Audley was actually in the same place and trying to find Epic, busted into the place, found the things, and then went to hide in the closet of the room that we were in.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I feel like you busted out of the window and
Yeah.
fled out into the streets.
My stealth wizard.
Uh-huh.
So good at sneaking.
You had
Giant
like
9-foot tall metal wizard.
you had like a rope of climbing, I think, which made the window a more attractive option than it might otherwise have been. Am I remembering this right?
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the things I've made as an artificer.
Yeah.
That and my bag of holding.
Artificers are insane, and helping Jared set one up for the one shot has been fucking crazy.
They are great.
If you had survived, you would have gotten some really cool shit.
Yeah, at some
Not
point
to rub in your death.
I was just saying, way to rub that in.
It's interesting because one of the things that
It's
me and
not
Jared
Scout's problem, Paul.
at one point I would have had to figure this out with Jared. I had actually started multi-classing oddly because at level 5, the artificer got a thing that was like, now you have a little robot servant that you've made, and I was like, that's fucked up. Oddly doesn't want that. And so Oddly was a level 5 artificer, level 1 fighter at time of death.
Nice.
Jared had said that we could at some point homebrew something, but yeah, we didn't get to that point.
Oh my gosh, so much things happened in Chronos in this little bit of time because
I
we spent so
know.
much time literally in panic trying to do anything we could before the clock ran out, forcing the time to be crunched down as much as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like, even looking back, I'm like, I feel like there was a lot, I guess, that happened, but that none of it amounted to anything.
Yeah,
It was
like,
we were
as-
still super unprepared.
As an example,
Yeah.
one of the things, as I saw in Paul's notes, we need to get anti-invisibility gear because we have no way to deal with all these invisible people. We spent like a day trying to find a way to deal with invisible people. We talked to the Phase Scholar dude. We went around looking for magical gear. We found the only one option for dealing with it, and it was greatly beyond our price range, which is Goggles of True Sight. Which is insane.
We should have just stolen them.
Talk to Graham, that's all I'm saying.
Also, Gran.
Yeah,
This is
the
the first
Gran
time you
thing.
meet Gran.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna wait for
man.
Kelly to get back for that if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also holding on to the unicorn story until Kelly got back.
Did that happen in Chronos?
Oh yeah. The first
That happened. Yeah, that happened. The first time the unicorn was summoned was in a hotel room.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
that defending Morinto at one point?
Not hotel.
Yeah, it went unicorn and then confusion. So I spawned a unicorn and then Jared played D&D with himself for 5 minutes.
Yep.
I have I have a number of interesting notes on the back of Oddly's character sheet. The first is that she was a scout type warforged. Considering how
Very much a scout.
extremely accurate.
That's very interesting.
Also, she was only 25, but
Oh.
warforged are fully grown at like age 1, so she was practically more like Vanai's age. And then I just have these last 2 notes here. Contact Paynoon, the Tabaxi noble, to help set a magic trap. How did that go?
What?
And ask Orin about the witch. Is she a god?
If so, kill her. Like we do with all gods.
I know you asked her if she was a witch.
I did. I worked language into the deal. No, I didn't. But I worked language into the deal that was like, if you're actually a witch, I don't actually have to. I still owe her a debt. No, I don't. I repaid it. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was
That's a big main story point that I repaid, actually. So Kelly needs to get back because there's a lot of stuff
There's
about
so
Graham that needs to.
so much.
Every time I think we could gloss over something, I find some little nugget of necessary information that Jared buried in there like an asshole.
I have Golthius sap in my
Well,
inventory list, and then it's crossed out.
also to be fair, we also drag in unimportant plot pieces forward.
Fair. Yeah, I messaged Jared before this. I was like, I'm going back through my notes, taking notes of my notes, being like, oh, I'll just take like 1 or 2 notes per page of notes that I took before. And no, I wrote down basically everything because it's basically all important.
So great.
The only other note I have from when we were in Sussex the second time is that Audley went to a library and checked out 30 old precious books about dwarves and then did not give them back.
Yeah, and
Kept
still has not returned them to this day.
them in the bag of holding.
Alphen has those books, or they're sitting inside of a. Oh, we didn't tell Jared because I really want to go back to Kunjakar and see a pile of dusty old books.
Maybe those are useful to him. There's a bunch of fucking like history of Kunjakar and Dwarven lore and blah blah blah.
I'm still so happy that Vane has a book from the Face Scholar. It's so great.
I wish Audley would have found a genealogy book on Rurik's family to see if Alphen was in fact his cousin.
I don't think we need a genealogy book, Paul. we know he was really his cousin.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's fair.
I have empirical evidence from the DM's mouth himself out of character that is false. You were lied to, Paul.
No!
Rurik dragged us all down with him from the start.
My cousin wouldn't lie to me, Devin.
That might not be a false statement.
I miss. I feel like I never got to use this as much as I wanted to, but I miss Audley's special help action, where she could make a DC-15 history check.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I remember that very well.
Wait, real fast. Kelly, are you back?
I have returned.
Welcome back.
Kelly's like, I've been back for like 20 minutes, guys. Y'all are nerds.
Okay, so now we gotta start hitting on the big Chronos hits.
Yeah, rewind a little bit. Audley went to an inn and listened at the door
Well,
of a room and heard the sounds of lug making and was like, "I'm out."
wait, that's winding back too far.
Let's see.
Because like that was we had first interrogated the people. We went into that inn because we followed someone we believed to be Epic towards this inn, and then we're like,
sorry, how did Epic become a person we were following?
we first Stackhouse.
I haven't even gotten to that part in my notes, and
Yeah, I think we're skipping ahead too
Right.
far.
Yeah.
quite far ahead.
Right. Let's see.
Okay.
So, I think actually, what was the last thing that we said before we started talking about it?
Maybe we should I have an idea. I'm gonna share my screen of Paul's notes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then this will give us a timeline to try to grasp around
my.
as we slip through.
Paul's notes.
What date are you on so that I can go there on my own?
I am. Oh no! Why does this not tell me?
Just go forward or back one.
Nope. That I think it's
Whoa.
220631.
No, what? What
No,
date?
2020 0630. So June 30th.
Wait, no.
That would be the file name. Hang
Press
on.
the back button on the left there. Left side. Go to the previous image. One more time. One more time. 20. Okay, that's where I'm at. Okay, cool.
Cool.
10/20/18.
And then you can go forward 3 or whatever that was. Yeah, 10/20/18. Yeah, that's where I was approximately as well.
I just want to make sure that we caught all this. Barnabas made a deal with Order of Law to coordinate security. They would know if there's no security. Barnabas said Veribor will come with us when talking to the Order of Law. Veribus was the person that managed the security of his household, and he
Right.
generally sat in a room with an orb of scrying and watched the house. He'd been the one who'd been seeing someone sneaking around without actually getting close enough to see what was going on.
Yeah, he was basically just had like a security room full of magic cameras.
We never got
Keeping an
along
eye
with
on
Fairboar,
things. No.
but we did have some amusing shenanigans to come. Let's see.
We didn't get along with Veribor, but we did physically hurt him.
Let's see. Tracy began training. Vinaya began training Morinto to be a paladin.
Yes.
That
Woo!
happened very quickly.
Yeah, we found out to get an NPC to a level 1 character in anything, it's 1 week of solid training, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Like 7 days of in-game, 8 hours a day training. So Morinto became a level 1 paladin.
And our
She decided
first
she wanted to fight.
and our nightly plan for avoiding Morinto getting assassinated was that we would all dress up as Morinto, and Devin would disguise self to look identical to Morinto. I think. I see, and
Yeah.
walk around town, but I don't think we ever executed that.
We made it so that, yeah, basically at any time, someone that looked like Morinto but wasn't was sleeping openly in a bed next to an open window to just make it like an easy target. And then
Okay. I thought you were talking about like walking around town and.
I tried, we talked about that too, of me just looking like Morinto and walking around, but we realized that disguise self doesn't change my height, and I wasn't good at stilts. So because I couldn't roll high enough on stilts, we had to just scrap that one.
We had 2 people sticking with her at all times. We decided. Obadiah started having feelings for Morinto, I think, around this time also.
Yes.
I realized that was a thing.
Devin.
It was a very low key, like he's like, yeah, I'll stay outside her door and guard. That kind of whatever.
Let's see. We did some room shuffling.
You don't necessarily need to read every single note. Not all of them are important.
You say that now. Let's see. We were worried about the Order of Law having moles. This is why we took so much time. We were worried about everything being undermined by smokework agents.
This is I think a good time to talk about this too. So Rurik went in there and trying to figure out if we could find more dagger people. Went up to the new person who had stepped into the Order of Law position and tried the adding up to 12 thing. It was basically, long story short, without giving you the actual back and forth, it was the same situation reversed. Jared decided that there was going to be a character that just really liked puzzles and really liked number puzzles. And so she figured out pretty quickly that Paul was trying to get the sentences to add up to 12. And this delighted her just to, have a little back and forth with somebody where they try and work numbers into a sentence and add up to 12. And so she kept answering it correctly, but then Paul would then try and say something and she wouldn't understand what he was talking about. So he'd do the puzzle again and she'd get all excited and give the correct answer to the puzzle. And then he'd try and talk about the daggers and she wouldn't know what he was talking about. And we quickly realized that she just liked numbers and wasn't actually a member of this group that knew how the back and forth worked.
And that back and forth was so amazing because, again, it was just like, I did the thing. Why don't you understand me?
There was a moment where Paul kind of broke character. It was like, Jared, is my math wrong? Like, no, you're doing it right. And that didn't.
And my favorite part of that is that her takeaway from that is, I've learned a new game that I can play with people.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then in here, we get to the part where Morinto's room is broken into while we're all dressed like Morinto, and it's Simajito. And Simajito's amulet is enchanted to be, so he was told that it was enchanted to be protection, but it was actually enchanted to be a tracker. So basically, that's where we figured out that the witch had sent him away to find and protect Morinto, but was actually using it as like all right, once he finds Morinto, we'll know where she is and we can go in and take her out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see.
Real clever on
Thing we figured out.
And then, so then I disguised myself as Simajito, and I took the amulet onto a boat that was just going to another continent and put it on there in the hopes that they would follow that boat thinking that they were trying to escape.
Yeah, AJ, we're in like 2 pages ahead. One more.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, the link to these, Paul put those in last night on Torchline if anybody wants to follow along on it.
Yeah, I think only the players would be able to get that, so
Oh, that makes sense.
I can share it to whoever needs it though.
Oddly was very, because the in the lore of this world, the Genasi and gnomes created the Warforged, and Audley's creator was a Genasi, I believe. Was very frosty with Marinto when they met, and basically gave her a I'm helping you because I am a helpful person, not because I owe you anything, not because you have control of me, etc., etc. But then also, after watching her train with Naya for a while, gave her the magic longsword that she had found in Kundrakar. It's not like any of the rest of y'all needed a +1 longsword.
And then Paul says, what was that?
Or said, "Oh, that's right, you had that. The longsword."
Never used it.
That's right. And then Paul, you try and train Simajito, and it does not go nearly as well.
That sounds right.
Not at all.
And then I went looking for magic items again, and I found a curiosity shop run by a person named Gran, who I was pretty sure was some kind of witch, but kept denying as such. But I ended up buying from her a pair of gloves that I still have, because when you put them on, they don't become invisible. You just kind of stop noticing that they're there, and anybody, unless they're really looking for them, doesn't notice that you're wearing gloves. And it lets me cast Mage Hand and have Mage Hand be invisible. And then I found a sword that said "Do not open," and I opened it immediately. And
it said, do not ask questions. Don't ask.
That's right. Do not ask questions. And so I opened it and I asked it a question, and it started talking incessantly. Its name was Brain Cleaver, and it was basically just an enchanted sword that was enchanted to be alive. But all I could talk about was how much I just wanted to hack at things, and it wasn't.
Cleaver.
Yeah, it wasn't super helpful in any way other than just having a loud personality. So I took that too. But she didn't want money. She said I could have one of them for a small favor, or I could have both of them for a big favor. And I said, as long as I forget how I worded it, but basically I was like, I'll make that deal, but if it turns out you're actually a witch, this deal is null and void, and I don't owe you my soul. Okay, bye. And then I just left with the stuff. Gran comes up again later.
Real quick, talking weapons are pretty great, and it would be really cool if we had more of them, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Rurik got tailed, and managed to basically get his tail to stop following him, but got an address for his tail to go give them a message later, because I think that is later actually a piece of intel we used to get into a fight.
Hang on.
That sounds right.
What? Hang on. What?
Yeah, Paul, it says Rurik goes searching for daggers people by saying numbers. He gets a tail, a fire genasi. He goes down into a deserted alley, but he isn't followed into the alley. When he leaves, the genasi is still there. He tells the genasi a bunch of numbers, but the genasi does not respond in kind. He says he wants to train, but doesn't know a good spot, and asks if he could be trained by Rurik. Rurik says sure, but he wants to meet somewhere else in a bigger area. Rurik suspected the dude, tried to lose him, failed, and then he got an address from the genasi to meet him later, or send him a message later.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Rurik doesn't train Simajito. Thane does way in the future.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Rurik doesn't train.
That was the problem. We never trained Simajito. Let's see. Emmett, Scout gets letter. The N, just initials, DM, what?
I'm not sure if much of any of this is
Don Mitchell.
important.
Again,
Again, it was just like a lot of trying to figure stuff out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we fought the
Yeah, I didn't-
dudes.
yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
we
the
did fight the
important thing
dudes
is
at the address.
you go to a place, you found 2 people, you knocked them out, bring them back, we intimidate them into giving us information. They say that Fire Genasi are everywhere looking for her, and then we killed 2 assassins with Brain Cleaver, which I assume means I killed 2 people with Brain Cleaver.
Lost track of
Which
the
means
murders.
that because I was not using Brain Cleaver because I was a sorcerer, so that means I executed 2 people with a sword that I only ever use for executions, which is easy.
It could have been Rurik. I don't know.
I don't think I would have handed her a Brain Cleaver. Maybe I did. Did you have Brain? I don't know. Maybe I don't remember.
Probably would have.
Probably.
Let's see. Loot Archblember wants Fey Prince of Autumn. There's a Fey Prince of Autumn, guys.
Excuse me?
Remember that.
You're gonna see us learn a lot of stuff about our game today.
Elf
I'm
Wizard
excited to be learning with you.
in training. We
Aw.
apparently met last session. Daughter of ties to.
Oh no, that's what it was. Loot Blaster was the daughter that was the bookish one of the Blaster was the elf family that was popular. She wanted a patron, and she was hoping for a Fey Prince of Autumn. This patron wants Fey Prince of Autumn. So she was an elf wizard in training, who we apparently met last session, was the daughter of the well-connected family with business ties to the fire.
Did Loot give like multiple Fey patrons in that discussion that we don't know? I don't remember.
No, that was the person that Audley got into the conversation with about the Fae. Loot was training under that person as a wizard and was hoping to find a Fey Prince of Autumn to be like that was kind of her fantasy patron. If she gets powerful enough, she can have a Fey Prince of Autumn to be
Gotcha.
her patron.
Wow, that seems like a good thing to remember. Let's see.
This will maybe come up in the future if Jerry wants to pull back into his bag of things that we can't say he didn't say.
Oddly goes to meet Kincaid.
Is that that's
Kincaid
the,
is
that's
the one.
wizard.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
the wizard.
Yeah, we already kind of talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Find this shit in my notes.
Again, I think the
Tanakas
next important thing was that
Are the Tanakas the ones that now have control of the fleet?
No.
No.
That's the family.
Uh-huh.
That's this family, right?
Huh?
That the Tanakas are the family that has ties to the noble family. That
Correct. But they
Yeah.
are not the ones who are now in charge of the fleet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone knocks at the door and it's Dawn Mitchell here to talk about stuff. The mayor of Chronos, Hevrinch, also was there. Came to talk about the concerns about how there's no security. He said he would handpick someone he trusts to lead. Let's see.
We're like, this is our job. We're in charge. We're security. Trust us. We look trustworthy.
Yep, Devon scouts out the Tanaka house. At one point, gates open and close with an invisible
Okay.
person.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Where it goes gambling's again. Rurik offers them money in order to get information on the Tanaka house. We fail at getting any anti-visibility stuff. Sleeping in the let's see.
Yeah, so then that night, we get attacked by invisible assassins. And this is the start of the unicorn story, where Orin, wild magics a unicorn that I guess helps us fight.
Yeah, so
Right.
Kelly, I don't know how familiar you are with the wild magic thing, but the way Jared has it run is basically every time I cast a first level spell or higher, I roll a d100 and a random thing happens that's on the table in the book. One of those things is I can summon a unicorn can be summoned next to me, and Jared is in control of it. So we were fighting these guys, and I cast a spell, and a unicorn appeared. And it wasn't really on anybody's side. It was just kind of annoyed to be there. And then I cast another spell, and that cast confusion on everyone within a certain radius, which everyone fell into that. So then for about 5 minutes, Jared played D&D by himself, controlling all of us, all of his NPCs, and the unicorn, that were all doing things randomly, by rolling a d4 and seeing what they did. That was that battle for a while.
That was grand.
Would have just been like, you're all very confused by the random unicorn that's appeared in the room.
Yeah, that'll never happen again.
Yeah, it's
Oh, is
Yeah.
it once you cast that and then that effect does not happen again?
no, it happens again. So the unicorn is there for a minute or until it dies. So there's a chance every time I cast a spell, there is a chance, among many other things, that a unicorn appears. And jumping ahead a little bit, it was heavily implied last session when it happened again that even though it dies in this world, it is the same unicorn. And so
Right. It's
I
like,
lashed onto a unicorn that I keep dragging into fights.
Is that
And it was also implied that it probably doesn't like me too much because I keep getting it killed.
I mean,
Yeah,
also
this happened a few times.
super important note? It says here Rurik tinks like a boss in that fight, so that needs to go into the formal record.
done.
Then
We
none-
finished the fight, so that's
yeah,
it.
we finished the
Oh,
fight.
I also poisoned Paul in that fight with my wild magic.
One of them got
Right.
away. That was important here.
Right, yeah.
We continued to fail to get
Bitch.
anti-invisibility.
Did
It was
we,
the first
Did
boss
we-
fight I missed.
what did we do with the other assassin, the one that didn't get away?
Actually, that's on the next page. That's on the next page. AJ non-lethally kills 1 of 4. One of the confused ones crits another one that was also confused and invisible.
Oh my
And
god.
kills it.
I remember that.
Marinto kills the one that attacked the invisible one. And then the one that was invisible ends up getting away, and we wrangle the unicorn until it disappears.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Next page, we've got. Yeah, we just failed.
I see
It's
Sir
just like
Bradford
the
and
shop.
a lot
We
of
go to the
exclamation
shop.
points.
It's way too expensive. $2,000. That's actually like cheap for what it is. That's a really good thing.
That's within our reach now.
Oren's not gonna part with all that money. Are you kidding me?
This party was very poor. At
We
the
buy
time.
some
All that money
scrolls.
is on my neck right now. Like, that's nothing.
We bought scrolls of fairy fire that we couldn't use, and the
Actually,
one
I
for
still
have
magic
that.
detection.
AJ, do you want me to share my screen where I can like zoom in
Yeah,
on
do it.
the images?
Do it.
Yeah, this is where a bunch of stuff happened where Scout and I were gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I missed both boss fights in this arc.
Alright, there you
This
go.
was the experience that taught me to never miss a session again.
You were there for the important one where we all died.
You were there for the unicorn. It's okay.
That's true.
Okay.
Alright, can you guys see that a little better
yes.
as I go to the next page?
I cannot really see it, but I'm kind of just relying on what you all say.
Scrolls of fairy fire.
Open up the link in the.
Let's see.
Yeah, I can do that at some point. And I, in fact,
no, that's
have
fine.
intended to for some time.
We meet with
worries.
Rurik's contact, the one that we paid to get information from the Tanaka household.
Yeah, that was the guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
A guard that Rourke becomes friends with, which is
I
a
think it was
very
a
important
servant.
plot point for later.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
No. That's a different person. This is a
we go
servant.
to person at gambling for info on fire jealousy.
Yeah, this is a different person.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
in a
okay.
different city, also, I think.
Yes.
that sounds right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is
sorry,
just a
okay.
servant of the Tanaka house. This isn't the guard.
Yes. Thank you.
Tanaka.
Let's see. We meet again in 3 days for more money. Tracy talks to Morinto about how she's gonna need to kill people,
Yeah. Mhm.
or has killed
How
a
she
person.
feels killing someone
Yeah.
because she killed one of the invisible people.
Yeah.
I was being paranoid. Yu-Hang goes to the police station to learn how to. I remember this.
Looking for
Yu-Hang
weapons
had
trap.
lessons.
He wanted to set up traps, was what it was.
Yeah, so he was going. He for a few days he was taking lessons every day at the Order of Law. For trapping.
Hey, cops! How do you look for traps? What are some of the things you look for? No reason in particular.
uh, let's see. Go looking for
so-
daggers.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
looked at in,
And
and
we.
that's where the Sir Bradford came in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
This
I
is.
follow it to some inn.
And we scale the wall.
There was a light that we follow there. Yeah.
Yep.
We look inside, and it's Sharwin and Sir Bradford.
Yeah. I don't know why that particular light in the end drew our eye. Was it like
There was a moving light.
I see. It was like
I
a
think
signal.
they saw us from the inn and got us to get to them.
Yep. And then we climbed over
and here-
the wall.
Here's where they tell Rurik that they're going to use another call sign because someone's been using their call
Spreading
sign.
it everywhere.
That someone is Rurik.
It's become a popular just game among guards. We don't know what happened.
And yeah, they say basically meet them here in the evening if I have something new to report. Otherwise, leave them alone.
Myrto levels up to level 1.
Level 1 paladin.
Hey, this is where we got the logo of the sparrow.
Oh.
I don't remember the logo. Of
This is
sparrow.
where we were waiting for your contact and they never showed up. 30 minutes later, a waitress gave Rurik a picture of a parchment with a sparrow on it, which we now know is probably the witch's symbol.
Oh.
She says she doesn't remember who gave it to her. And you plan to immediately report to Bradford and Sharwin.
Oh, I'll give this to Bradford and Sharwin.
Legitimate reporting, but also like they've got to be so sad.
You're like, don't come back until you have something. It's like, somebody gave me a picture of a bird. Is this intel?
This is where we go to the stack house, Tracy.
That's right. Yes. Oh, this is such a good story. How did I can't remember if we were asking. Let's see.
Oh no, this isn't it yet.
Is that I
I'll
wanted
be right back.
to, yeah.
So
Since Slade was a dragonborn, I was looking for places that other dragonborn might gather, might meet up. And the stack house was identified somehow as a place where people from Umalara tended to hang out.
yeah, it says here that you went to a cafe above an item shop,
Right.
talked to a barkeep, and said you
Mhm.
were a friend of Slade. They said they
Yes.
didn't know Slade, but eventually point you at the stack house. But you didn't have
Uh-huh.
the money to pay for the tea.
Yep. So I had to shake down somebody.
Yep, you had to go shake down somebody
Yes, you got a mini
and
quest.
Olaf at the stack house and bring it back.
Yep.
And then you go to the stack house. They say Slade hasn't been there for a while. That there's another old guard. There's another old guard in town.
Someone else from the old guard or another of the old guard. Yeah.
What was the old guard again?
That was how they were referring to Smokework's higher ranking people.
And in this case, the other old guard was Epic.
This was epic, right?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Give me just a minute to get all of this written down in a sensible way.
Is it alright if I make a quick note?
Yeah.
And I think it's not noted here, but I think that moment when we're talking about the stack house there, where Tracy talks to someone at the stack house about Slade, I think that's where we got into a fight. And
not this time.
Oh, okay.
Because
Got it.
later I go back. I bring you because I think
Okay.
at this point I'm alone.
Okay, got it. Cool.
So yeah, sometime later I go back with you. We get into the big cool fight. We'll get to that.
Okay, cool. I'm too excited.
So cool. I know, right?
tell y'all. These are called sour punch trees. They're not that sour.
Don't punch the trees.
No.
I wanted to be punched.
Sour things that aren't sour are it's so upsetting.
It's just
I wanted something really sour the other day, and so I literally got a lemon, and that was not sour enough for me, and I was like,
Wow.
now I'm upset.
What I'm hearing is you're a
speaking my
sucker
language.
for the pucker.
How dare you!
I missed it. Oh no! Wait, say it again.
Oh my
I said,
God.
what I'm hearing is that you're a sucker for the pucker.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to just eat lemons.
Oh,
Nice.
powerful.
I love them.
I can't handle sour at all. Not at
They're
all.
like a moderate level of sour.
Just solid pass.
Wow. No fun with some of you.
Let us know when you're ready to.
I'm glad
Tracy.
you.
Yeah, hang on.
If you want to hang out and just chew on limes, you know, you got me.
My old roommate Tanner used to just eat lemons as a snack,
They're
like
good.
rind and all.
Nice. Oh,
Like, like a
Wow.
whole lemon. It was weird.
that's weird.
That's getting weird.
Yeah, Kelly knows Tanner. Tanner is weird. He's wonderful, but he's also strange.
Really weird.
Tracy, how you doing?
We're working on it.
I don't want to rush you.
I can only have.
so much. We have so much to get
I know,
through.
I know, but I can only have so many words happening around me at the same time before I become this.
I like my notes in the margin about reporting to Sir Bradford.
Gotta keep him informed. And what the hell did he ever do with the knowledge we gave him, huh?
Yeah, I don't know anyone that we could trust more, Scout. Truly.
Okay, I'm done, sorry.
Now, some things seem to be happening here that are exciting. I was
Let's
not
see.
here for this.
Uh,
About the witch.
Yeah. Young training was a waste of time. Let's see. Yep. They don't know anything about the sparrow because it's. They don't think it's smokework. When you go back to the room, there are assassins in the room. We beat them up. We saw a sparrow. Marinto thinks the sparrow is the witch.
It flew in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
It is the witch, I think.
and then it is the witch.
It seems like it's a witch.
I should report that to Sir Bradford.
Wait, actually. Oh no, this is where we learn about the witch in general. This is not the witch actually showing up and actually talking at us. This is us learning
Okay.
about the witch now.
Well, we knew about her before because of the amulets,
Yeah.
but now is when we learn, oh yeah, she sometimes takes the form of a sparrow, or that's like her symbol or something.
This
Mhm.
also says at the end the witch is dead, so I feel like you fought the witch in here.
I think we did fight the witch here, because yeah, there were 4
Oh.
assassins with her.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, and so yeah, she says that Marinto was cursed. That if her father, which is like the king or whatever of the Genasi,
The King Admiral.
The admiral of the fleet.
if he remains righteous,
King of the Genasi.
fine, but if he strays from that, then something bad will happen to Marinto. But he stayed righteous, so Marinto's still alive and good. And yeah, she's upset about that, I guess. But yeah, so she showed up, and there were 4 assassins with her, and I guess I didn't even write down that we beat her, but we did.
We sure did.
I remember a few.
It was
things
a
about
dramatic
that
fight.
It was a serious fight. I remember like she flooded, like there was like a huge flood of water.
Yeah.
And I remember
This is the one we
was
split in
this
two.
when we had done like the bags of flour or something, like scattered flour around,
Maybe.
so that we could see
Yeah.
footsteps of invisible people, or
Yes.
like put flour above the door, so it would. There
This
were
was-
a few uses for flour that were proposed, and I can't remember which one we actually did.
Yeah, I think we did the footprints thing, and actually there was a bunch here because like what happened is Sparrow came in through the door, and they were suddenly in the room with half the party. Obadiah saw that there were people coming in the flower, and he slammed the door. And I
Which
think
left Rurik outside.
I don't remember who
Is
was
that right?
outside with Obadiah, or if Obadiah was out there alone. But I felt like there was one other person out there with Obadiah, and then it was down to the rest of us inside to fight the witch. The witch then summoned a bunch of water and started slamming things around inside of the room, while the rest of us were dramatically outnumbered by the assassins outside, and were getting beat to snot. Also, and I think someone was missing for that day. Also,
I think
It was
2 people were
me.
missing. That's why we were so outnumbered.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was.
Devin and Scott were gone.
I don't even remember where Vane was in that fight.
I think I remember that you were there and doing things, because I remember that you had some arrow ability where if you had seen someone, you could then shoot at them,
Yes.
and this let you attack someone who had gone invisible.
Yes.
Man,
Yeah.
Vane's super cool.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Yeah, that must have. Maybe I was the one out with Obadiah then. That must have been it. Because
Didn't Morento strike the killing blow?
yeah, I
If-
think that's
if
true.
she didn't, I'm gonna change it to be that.
I think that is what happened. Oh man, I feel like that is.
Anyway, fight ensued. Witch is dead. Assassins are dead. Door was closed, and so Witch couldn't get out. Something like that.
And then Morento and Samojito were like, all right, we're out. We seem less cursed, and we're going to go. I think they, at that point, planned to head. They didn't tell us where we were going, but we kind of assumed, oh, they're probably going back to the fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they weren't going
Yeah.
back to the fleet. They specifically needed to not go to the fleet to stay, like, safe. So they were just gonna go wander, I think.
So they left, and we, I'm sure we will never see them again. Ever.
Mhm.
And we're like,
Never.
all right, down to one problem.
And then we
Yeah.
realized there were 3 days left, and we still knew almost.
Now we're back on
nothing.
smokework.
Yep. At
So,
this point,
some characters that are going to pop up. Dots are awful and stick to everything in your mouth. I made a mistake.
I thought you were gonna start representing the characters with dots. Like this blue one is.
So each city has one representative. Triumvir Rowena is the boss representative. That's who AJ Tracy and I were sent on our mission from, the head of the magical people. Governor Heverinch is the halfling leader in Chronos, the city that we're in. And then there is Prince Carlum of Fredericksburg, who I have marked third in line to the throne, dumbass.
Yep. Accurate.
But we liked him eventually.
Eh,
You can like somebody, they can still be a dumbass.
Yes.
I have Cornwall
Bingo.
Youngblood, who is the Suchage workers representative. He doesn't come up a lot. And then there's
sorry, what was his name again?
Cornwall Youngblood.
Cornwall. Hold on.
He was the
Here's the practical one.
Right.
The one that
he's
we
kind of like
wanted
the
to
working
trust.
class, the working class hero.
Right.
yeah. As we were making this was marked. We were making a list of people who know about the event. And I don't know why I put it that way because everyone in the world knew about the event.
The 5 people that are listening to the pleas of the people that are to be approved or denied.
Yeah,
And then good old Don Mitchell.
that's the other one.
Don Mitchell.
The place we were staying was the Quack Lettuce Inn.
The what? The quack lettuce.
Quack Lettuce Inn and
Quack
Tavern.
Yes.
Inn.
Oh.
That's where Audley was getting their mail.
My God. Mango, cut it out. Yeah, you're being
I
bad.
either never heard that or did not understand that until now.
Do you want to come up here? Or okay. Whatever.
So anyway,
Yeah, I remember at this point we were trying to figure out a way to make it like not a farce with the grand
Yeah.
audience. We were trying to be
Yeah.
like, we're gonna get
This
them. Yeah,
this is where we were under the impression that smokework had some kind of ideal that they were pushing forward to try to actually give power to people.
Right. We were like entertaining the
Right.
idea that maybe Smokework gonna do
Yeah,
a good
if we can get the government to give power to the people, then Smokework won't have to blow anything up because the people
Right.
will have the power.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: we were very wrong. The goals of Smokework.
Let's see. Roweno's.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just reading. Go ahead.
We did get them to. We got all of them in a room, and we got them to agree to kind of do a roaming version of this, where they go from city to city and get like everybody would have a chance to talk at each city, so that like. Because one of the things we made up was like, hey, most of the poor people can't make it to one city every 5 years if it's not the city that they're in. So you need to go everywhere. And they agreed to do it, but they were grumpy about it because they didn't like spending that much time doing business stuff.
Rather than governing.
Yeah.
yeah. We spent a lot of time getting very annoyed with the entire leadership of the Torchline.
We really
Um,
did.
And I remember there being a certain point where Audley was like, Smokework has some points that I, a person who hates society, am starting to agree with more and more.
Orin was the same way with the like, yeah, I mean, being a sailor who kind of answers to no one but whoever the current captain is, like, yeah, people should be able to do what they want. Like, that doesn't seem so bad. Maybe don't murder 50,000 people to get that to happen, but he was also on the fence of like, see where you're coming from. Let's see if we can find a happy medium here between total anarchy and iron law.
I think this comes up to be important later, but Rurik uses his make someone give up something they don't want ability on Barnabas to try to get him to allow the billions in the grand audience to
Isn't it allow like people who aren't part of this pre-scripted
Yeah.
thing?
And I said, and what I had to give up for that would be my adventuring career, and I lost by 1. And so he said that when my business with Smokework, or like, you know, the grand audience was done, I would be his servant until one of us dies. So,
Right.
so
We have
Rurik,
somewhere to check.
Yeah.
Rurik is now, what is it, an indentured servant or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point in the story, Rurik has promised himself forever to Barnabas.
Yeah, Rurik's tale is a sad tale.
I mean, up to a certain point where it's like becomes less sad and more awful.
Hey, I'm jumping ahead of it.
Sorry, yes, right now it's a sad tale.
I really hope we get to the end of Rurik tonight, because I don't think we're going to.
We've
got a
should
ways to go.
pick up the pace and get to
Yeah.
Rurik.
I think we can gloss over a lot of this stuff too. Like it's important, but it's not.
Right, again, yeah, we just kind of did a lot of churning in Chronos. Like, there's
An awful
a lot of political stuff, and then something happens, but like...
In fact, I would argue we could probably sum this up by saying.
Oh wait, this is about Epic. They've fallen upscale in. It's an elf with long red hair. They had a small magical object.
Oh right, that
Can
Epic might be important.
Okay, let me. Is it cool if I try and sum it up really fast, and you guys tell me if I'm missing big details?
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if you've got stuff you want to cover, dude.
Well, the
absolutely
main
go
thing
for it.
is that since we're recording these, I wanted to try to not have to backtrack in another video.
That makes sense.
My only thing is I feel like we're not getting that much more detail that's in these than is in these notes, aside from specific stuff that we would want to shout out anyway.
Let's just keep going. We can just keep going through the note pages. We can just try and gloss over the stuff that is the filler of kind of like how combat went in that moment.
Yeah, I think the question is, what are we recording it for? Is it for people to listen to later and get the full story, or the important parts, or what?
Oh, I'll be listening to this again. There's a lot of names, and it's gonna take me a mo to go through them, so I'm definitely gonna listen to it again.
For
We
me,
can give you the notes too.
this is a nice way to record what's happened and talk about it and digest it, and also to be able to have something to come back to and watch at a later time if I fall out of my memory about what has happened. And so I like going through it, but if other people don't want to do that for this, that's all totally fine. I just seemed like the most appropriate time to do that if we were doing it.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. If there's anyone, I guess the better way is anyone staunchly against, just kind of keep going through, and I think we can try and kind of 50-50 it, where we can gloss over the, how many crits we got in combat, but we can also go into everybody's connections to each other. Is that cool?
Some of the crits in combat are very important, but yeah.
Yeah.
The literal greatest hit.
Oh.
So where do we leave off then? Sorry.
I think part of the problem is the specific part we are on was a very long,
It was so
thing
much.
in which it was fun, but also we accomplished almost nothing for 4 sessions in a row while doing one day at a time very slowly. So I
Right,
feel like
and remember
once we
how
get through this, it'll
Yeah.
probably pick up.
And
again.
it's also dense with multiple story threads, and I'm discovering lots of things in this that are like, oh, that's actually practical information now. So it is definitely dense in terms of both session notes and actual events that happened there. And I agree that it'll speed up probably a lot once we get out of the Chronos arc.
Yeah.
It certainly felt like it in real time when we got out of Chronos.
Yeah. Well, remember how Jared kept saying, you only have X number of days left, so
We'll
he
get through
kept
that
thinking
today.
we'd get through it so fast, but every time, every single new day was 5,000 new things, and it ended up taking us forever.
We'd play
In
for
real
4
time.
hours. We'd play for 4 hours in real time, and we'd get through 4 hours of game time in that time.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing about a defense objective with a limited clock. With limited information as to your opposition.
Yeah.
It's like you're just
I think a lot of it
desperate.
was, we were panicking. We were like, we have to figure out something.
Yeah.
And we.
All right, so let's pick up with the red-haired person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so some of us go to investigate in the stack house, smokework.
Yeah.
Some of us go to talk to the representatives. They hear something about, I will do this for smokework if that is required of me. They follow them to an upscale inn. It's an elf with long red hair. They have a small magical object. This is the time when I think we shift. We go to find Oliver to talk to Rowena about smokework in the grand audience.
Real quick, I just have to say I can't believe how ridiculous it was that we almost just skipped past stuff when we were just about to talk about Epic.
So I think at this point, multiple people are doing things on the same day. That's where we kind of shift hard to Oliver talking to Rowena. We convince Rowena to open up the courtyard, so we're doing some security stuff, tour the city and get questions. This is what Devin was saying earlier about walking through multiple cities. Tell the chairman and Bradford about the witch and Morinto. They say they're working on a new call sign. No, work. So talk to me after the grand dance. Cool. Tell them about something. The servant stuff. And they're very...
servant.
Oh.
They say that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, a dwarf shows up and talks to you. Oh no. And Obadiah and says someone needs to suggest a certain bill
It's Cornwall, so such
Cornwall. I got it. You say you'll do it. You'll be the first Rourke will be the first person to read on the second day, and they get a script.
I thought Rourke reading would be a good idea.
AJ and Scott are staking out the elf staying in the inn. Despite never seeing anyone leave, no one is in there. Guards come after Scout because someone caught him climbing up to it.
Yeah, I tried to climb into the inn. And this is the
Right.
defense.
Yeah.
I tried to sneak in. Didn't do a good job of sneaking or climbing. Climbed up loudly and slowly and hid with Vane.
In the room Vane had gone in and acquired. And then Vanayo goes to find us, finds us, intimidates the gnome, to find the name of the person.
To find the name of the person who rented the room with the broken window.
And that's how we learn the name of Epic.
That's how we find out it's Epic. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the silly things that we do to gain critical information.
Right?
We then go to the stack house to try to track down Epic. We get knives put to our...
Hang on. I have only caught like half of what has been said in the last 5 minutes.
Are you typing up what we say?
I'm trying to.
Oh my god.
Okay, I will say
stuff more detail into the notes, but
I feel like we should do that later, just for. It's already 9:40 p.m.
That's
For
fair.
Tracy's own sanity, also.
I mean,
Yes, that
maybe
too.
yes, also, but it's fine. Okay.
That's why we're recording. So
Yeah.
we can look
I
back
know,
on this
but
as
I
often
hate the
as we
process of transcribing from a recording. I'm always happier if I can manage to do it live. It's
I
fine.
do have a dictation program that could potentially help with that.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, sorry, Kelly.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to my cat. I
Oh.
did not realize I was not muted. Sorry.
Let's see. We get knives put to our throats. We defeat them and interrogate one.
Holy shit! Oh, we are not skipping over it
Okay.
so blithely. Here's what happens. I'm trying to weasel more information out of the Kenku at the bar, and I fuck up. I get a little bit too obvious, and so then everybody else in the room turns on us, weapons drawn. They grab us. Vane and I just kind of look each other and glance, and we both cast Misty Step at the same moment, teleporting back into unoccupied spaces, and then we kick the shit out of everyone there! It's so cool!
It was very great. It was quite a scene.
It was really something.
After they have had the shit kicked out of them, let's see. He says Epic is the old guard, and that they're running things here. Epic is going after representatives. They say that they're going to burn down the stack house. They do. Let's see. He says he'll be an informant. Oh, this is the informant that you promised.
Yeah, this
Later.
is Opta, our Kenku buddy.
And they decide to meet us in Fredericksburg in 2 months. They will look for the book. I don't remember. Oh, the book, your book.
Nice.
Yep.
That was Tracy's book.
Yep.
Don Mitchell and Governor Hivranch are here to see us, plus Aldetha, the new head of the Security Order of Law, who doesn't like us at all.
For some reason.
Probably out of all the people that we've talked to in the game so far, Aldetha probably likes us the least. They're having an impromptu meeting of the courtyard. The delegates are all there and we're expected to stay guard. Cool. That's great. We get a speech about the promotion of Aldetha, who's the new super suspicious and hates us person. Emmett gets Prince Carlin of Fredericksburg's page, who seems to recognize him disguised as Epic in a black alley.
Oh. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I went.
Oh, that's right.
So this, I'm trying to remember if we knew at this point. I don't remember if we learned this now or later, but it's not really important. When this was the person who was engaged in the lovemaking in the tavern with Epic, which is what Epic was referring to when they said, "I'll do it if it's what smokework requires of me." I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so, oddly realized that this like young, not like young, but young man, this young page, had something to do with Epic, and in typical Oddly fashion, went in literally guns blazing and beat him up and dragged him to Veribor's place, and intimidated and interrogated him until it became clear that he was just some poor schmuck who had slept with Epic at some point because Epic was trying to get to Prince Carlum. And then we felt bad.
Yep.
Well, Oddly felt bad.
But also learn it.
Yes. We learned something there.
Let's see. Everybody wants us to leave Barnabas's place.
The new order of law was pretty adamant that like our services were no longer required and were probably actually actively a detriment to the safety of everyone involved.
Yep.
We tell them
that's when we got real suspicious of, or I at least got real suspicious about Defa, who was the order of law person.
Yeah, I remember this.
Because how could they not trust us?
Yeah, I don't trust you.
We tell them about the page that we captured, the innocent beaten up page, and they tell us, fine, you can stay, play nice. Barnabas says we've been fired and will not be paid. We guard the complex. We didn't find anything.
Sorry, we missed
Not only will we not be paid, but Rurik, I don't need you as my servant anymore. You're fine. Just go, please. Don't come back.
Because I am awful at what I do.
Let's see. Grant audience something. I can't read that in the left. Let's see.
The grand audience, I can't either. Something file
in 1 out of 3.
5 representatives file in.
Gotcha. The princess page.
Oh yeah, this is it's a 3 day.
Oh,
so the grand audience day. Yeah.
We were pretty sure that the page that we talked to, well, we know they went missing. It seems like Paul believed that they were killed by Aldetha.
Oddly very firmly demanded that he not be killed, and that he needed to be protected, so he may have been disappeared as sort of a witness protection thing.
But Rurik was very suspicious about that. He was like,
yeah.
The Order of Law files in. Khalil from Bless comes in. He's back. The guy that was told about the Golthius sap and went on a quest to find out where the dude was that had the Golthius sap that Rurik bet away. Let's see. We found. Oh, this. I'm pretty sure this small magic thing is the ring that has been being detected.
Right, yeah.
So Epic has a magic ring that we find later, and I've been using detect magic, and we. It sounds like I detect the same presence in on a magical item in the courtyard on another elven page. We begin pursuit. Orin and Khalil give chase. This is the awesome. We actually did a good thing scene.
We're chasing after a page that might.
We almost do a good thing scene.
Khalil takes a crossbow bolt. Aldetha tries to stop Orin after he mentions Smokework is upstairs now. Aldetha stops trying to stop Orin, and everyone goes upstairs at the same time. Let's see. I'm gonna say Epic. I'm pretty sure that's who this elf is. Epic says his prince told him this to go to this place. Oh, to place this small metal lead bead and hide it in Governor Hevrinch's office.
Listening device.
Oh, that's not. Yeah, it wasn't a ring. It was this bead. We give the bead to Aldetha. Aldetha tells the truth. The prince says he doesn't think his people would do it. He says his elf's name is Welt. Someone has news this morning to replace. So this is the incompetent prince who hired someone this morning as part of his personal guard, off of someone's recommendation, I think. No, who showed up and said that they knew somebody, that he knew. Which we're like, yeah, that's Epic, who knows someone you know, your page. And then we interrogate
I also
the
let
prince.
them, the person with the bead, I let them escape out a window. Because they were like, the person told me to do it. And I was like, all right, well, run, get out of here. I've got the bead. And then, I think it was Epic. I was like, well, you're an innocent bystander, and I won't let them kill you for this. Leave now, and I'll take care of this. And then they jump out the window and basically middle finger guns me.
Your only chance.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cornered. Please let me go.
We then interrogate the prince using Vanaya's zone of truth. Says he doesn't know anything. Nor did he know about Welt. They interviewed him and he was hired. We got
just a fun character thing on that too. He was very pleasant the whole time and just kind of excited to be there. He was never scared. He was like, "Yeah, no, I hired him this morning. Seemed nice enough. You all seem great too." Just like
Prince Carlin.
oblivious dumbass.
We found
How did you describe them in your notes?
Huh?
How did you describe them in your notes?
Dumbass.
Dumbass. Okay.
Oh,
What
that
did I say?
okay, yeah.
It was third in line to the throne and then dumbass.
We got the hotel room info on where Welt was staying. This is how we got to his actual hotel room. In room. We then ask Aldetha for a comment. More on the same side than you think, because anytime anyone says anything vaguely suspicious, we're all on them and try to rip their statements apart.
Yeah, someone would say something like vaguely mysterious, and we'd be like, "What did you mean by that? Could you explain loudly to everyone present?"
We go to the hotel and lots of disguise kits. Box of rock scrolls, forgery kits. And then
No, Thane was in Chronos.
Devin was saying where Jared asked us what we thought.
Yeah.
Of what happened.
And then start of next session, going up in front of council to ask for the. So this is
that would be the second day where Rory has to go up and read the thing.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
No, EJ, no Devin.
I think that this is the session I missed, so I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, and I missed the fight for this one also.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
Someone who's not AJR is going to have to talk because we don't know what happened.
All right. I don't remember what happened either. I'll kind of go through it. So, actually, that's funny. So here, I have a note. Jared asked us what we thought. AJ said he thought what was epic. Started next session. Jared said what was epic. Good job, AJ.
Thank you.
Call it.
So Vane and Orin have teamed up with the Order of Law to follow other leads. Oh, that's
AKA are not there and won't be seen.
Yeah. So Rurik goes out and reads the thing that he was supposed to read. It gets denied, which I guess shocked people.
Yeah, remember, because it was supposed to be scripted. Like, it was supposed to be like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Jared said, yeah, this is one of the things that I guess they all get together and, like, pre-vote on things, and then they just show up to the conference and say,
The thing they promised, yeah.
And it's supposed they're already supposed to know what's going to happen, but this one got denied, and Rich voted against when she should have said yes.
Oh, it was Hevrinch? The Hevrinch was the one that we were like, he seems like a pushover.
Yeah.
And so Cornwall, who was the one who told me to read this thing, started yelling at two of the other delegates, Rowena and Dawn. So basically, this starts like a big feud amongst the governors in front of, I think, a lot of people that were all
Oh, yeah. This is where we almost got in extreme trouble.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because I cast Hold Person on somebody.
Dawn Mitchell.
Dawn. Oh,
Dawn. Uh-oh. That's going to be important.
Who would have thought casting Hold Person on someone would have consequences?
Tracy,
wow.
who is a member of Bless. Oh, no, a member of Bless tried to stop her. Because
a member of Bless is like, you've just assaulted a person, one of the leaders of the cities. The punishment is death or something. And I'm just like, I don't fucking care.
I completely forgot about this.
It's such good foreshadowing.
That's like gold foreshadowing right there. So
good. You notice that Vinaya has not cast Hold Person since cast it on Rurik?
Yes.
I didn't know that until just now either. The sentence for Hold Person is death.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Important.
Remember that the sentence for Hold Person is death.
Alright, so, okay, Aldetha said that Tracy and her friends need to leave the courtyard, so that was, alright, you guys get out of here. Rurik refused, but we get kicked out anyway, it looks like. Obadiah and Rurik disguise themselves and climb back in.
Oh, God!
Everyone else waits outside. Obadiah goes up a balcony, and Rurik stays in the shadows on the ground floor. And here, the arguments are just spiraling out. So, like, the leaders and stuff are just bickering now.
Whatever.
Yeah, Prince Whatever says enough with the insults and goes inside. Heverinch calls an early break. A guard says that a city guard bill is coming up later and is worried that they won't get to it. So that was to determine, like, how much guards will make or something. And if they didn't get to it, I guess they would be out of pay or something. Verabor, who was the...
Yeah, that was a big thing, because all the way up till this point, Jared had been dropping hints that the guards were pissed because their pay was low.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a very important thing that they had to get to. Verabor, who was this, like, courtyard's kind of security
like the groundskeeper for Barnabas's estate.
Security wizard.
Kind of a security.
Yeah. Security
well, that's
wizard.
What a groundskeeper does.
Okay.
He also, I don't know.
Anyway, he came to get Rurik and led me to the front gate. He was nervous and said he wanted to talk to someone quietly. We lead him to the outside corner of the complex. I don't know. I guess I didn't say anything else about that.
I need to talk to someone quietly. Rurik! You're the only one I can think of.
Poor choice, friends. Rurik was very loud. Obadiah hears Aldetha saying she knows about smokework. They were the ones trying to get the scrying device in. She knows about the disguises. She claims they exploited Prince Karlem's entourage.
Which are the things we found out by this point. Yep.
She thinks they must have left the city. She asks if Heverinch wants to pursue the matter, but she says no. Oh, sorry, he says no.
Yep, Heverinch, the suspicious one.
Verabor suggests we go look for smokework in the city. He has a lead. Aldetha knows more than she's letting on. Someone matching Epic's description was seen at 3 inns. Scout is staying with Verabor. Tracy and Rurik, Vinaya and Rurik go with Verabor, scrying on us. So I guess, he had the ability to scry, so he was watching us. We go to the first inn and learn basically some stuff about Epic. He had been there, I guess, a week ago for a couple days. Kept to himself, went by Epic, paid well. The grand audience
Commences.
But right as they start, sorry, yeah, it recommences. They start again, but right as they start, they fight again, so they break up again. We get to the second inn, which is in a worse part of town. Epic was there for a few days. He left 3 days ago. Doesn't overlap. I'm not sure I wrote that. I guess because he was staying at separate inns different days.
Yeah.
They gave him a caravan master who met him here. Terrence. It's a caravan heading east to Fredericksburg. The caravan goes out once per week. Tracy finds a doorknob that has magic on it, evocation that becomes abjuration when triggered.
Sounds like a trap.
Yeah. So the door, I guess it was probably the door to Epic's thing was trapped. The audience has given up the grand audience has given up. They're like, no, we're not even going to try for today. Obadiah gets caught by Aldetha. She doesn't recognize him at first, but he says, "Hey, Aldetha," and wipes the disguise off. He gets arrested and taken to
jail, pretty much.
The third inn turns out to be a dead end. Epic might have not even stayed there. The caravan that we heard about leaves tomorrow. He's fine with a criminal being on it. I think we tried to convince him of, hey, there might be a criminal here, and he's like, I don't even care. They give me money. So we bribe him with money so that we can look at Epic's luggage. But the luggage was trapped, so
right.
It, I think, explodes. Oh yeah, things are on fire.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff in it burned up.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be searched.
I start to put it out. It's got some disguise stuff, half-burned scroll with some inns and a cross street on it. Obadiah in jail.
To Fire Genasi. They talk about the fleet.
So I guess they probably gave him some info about that. Again, good foreshadowing stuff. Aldetha barges into Veribor's place. Veribor, it's time. Are you ready? She says. Aldetha says Audley has a choice: jail or do exactly as she says. She says Audley monitor the courtyard for magic.
Audley was doing alarm spells.
Oh yes, I remember. Magic. So one of the distracted. One of the things that we'd found about the rooms that we searched is that they smelled. And so that leads us to realize that, hey, at this cross street, there's a sewer, and sewers also smell. And that's how we found out that Smokework was using the sewers to get around.
Oh, that's going on in the next point. But yes, that sounds absolutely correct. So I guess Rurik told Vinaya that he'll wait outside, and Tracy was going to go in.
Can't remember.
Vinaya. So Vinaya goes in and finds a red bandana, but gets attacked by a sewer lizard.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that at all, but okay.
I kind of remember having to fight a sewer lizard.
Just a quick note. It says that the red bandana has a burning tree on it. I don't know if that symbology has come up elsewhere, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that, so I kind of skipped over it.
The red bandanas Jared did confirm were a specific Chronos smokework cell thing. So if they had any sort of Gulfius tree connections or something like that, that might have been what it was referenced to.
I mean, the Gulfius tree didn't have anything to do with Chronos. Those two things didn't come up, so I don't think so. Audley heard a
I remember this.
Scream from inside the building. No answer from Dawn's door. I guess Audley checked the door and there's nothing.
Yeah, Audley went to investigate, found a murder mystery, a locked door mystery. There was no evidence anywhere of how somebody had gotten in or out. Veribor City saw a hooded figure come through the window. At which point, Audley fires cannon in air.
Veribor says,
"Why?"
Probably to draw people to investigate the scene. I'm guessing.
Maybe.
I think you were trying to get people over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was the point where it really solidified. We were convinced that the Order of Law had killed Don Mitchell, and that Erebor was in league with them.
We suspected everyone, or at least, again, I suspected everyone.
Yeah, we all kind of did. Yeah.
So Nell let Obadiah out of prison. We get out and hear Audley in and rush
because the party was really scattered. So Audley was trying to bring the party back to the complex.
Nat 20, our investigation checks. For 2 blocks, there were literally no one in the streets. It was too quiet. Audley disguises themselves as Aldetha and enters Erebor's place.
Oh my god.
Oh no! Just got important.
This was my best plan ever.
This was really good.
Okay, well, Kelly's gone. I will also be right back.
Okay.
I was reading ahead. Sorry, you say Kelly left?
Yes.
Oh. The next page is very good.
Okay. Spoilers, Devin.
I know.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
Okay.
So,
well, I thought we were waiting for Scout to get back because this is Scout's. Scout was excited about this.
okay, fine.
Or not.
I didn't realize Scout was gone. It's okay. Whoa, did you guys know Scout has a room?
Scout doesn't just float in a black void all the time.
Not all the time.
Oh my god, this thing goes on forever. We go to Fredericksburg after this. We're not even to the ocean yet.
I'm still listening. I'm on the headset. I'm just getting water.
What do you mean to the ocean? Like, the ocean doesn't come for a while.
I know. When I saw Fredericksburg, I realized how many things happened between here and there's no way we finish this tonight.
From Chronos to Fredericksburg to Kandrakar, from Kandrakar to Sussex
From Sussex to White Plume Mountain.
White Plume Mountain. That's right.
Yeah, I think Rourke's Tale is a 2-parter.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh my god.
And we wouldn't do it justice if we did it slower or do it faster.
True.
I think.
What do people's tomorrow evenings look like?
I'm busy probably for the rest of the week, so don't worry about me.
I want to worry about Rurik.
I'm always worried about Rurik.
Aww. You're worried about Rurik because you're watching your back. Oh god, where's Rurik? Oh, I can't believe Scout missed that. Okay.
Excuse me?
I just made a funny joke about Rurik. It's okay.
It was good.
It's not gonna be great.
Make it again, Paul.
Okay, I'll set it up. I'll set it up for you. And be like, okay, Rurik's Tale is gonna have to be a 2-parter. If we go any faster than that, we're not gonna do it justice. And then Devin.
I'm worried about Rurik.
How about tomorrow?
Oh yeah. How are people tomorrow's like?
I'm busy. I'm not. Yeah, I can't make it. I'm busy the whole week.
And you say, "Don't worry about me."
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah, like I always worry about Rook. I want to worry about Rook. I want to worry about Rook for Rook's Tale.
That's it. I always worry about Rurik.
Oh, great. Aw. Oh, you always worry about Rurik. You're watching your back because you could be there. You could be anywhere. Where's Rurik?
There we go. We got there.
Now you're up to it. Now you're up to it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Anyways.
I love you guys. Okay. Where were we? So Audley.
Scout's amazing plan.
Audley disguises as Aldetha.
Yeah, and then I just on a whim, I was just like, put on Aldetha's face, walk into Erebor's little security room, and just kind of go. And he immediately, unprompted, goes, "They suspect nothing." And Audley's like, and then they said, "Is she safe?" Which, yes, as the note says, in retrospect, probably meant Dawn, but at the time we were just like, At this point, the rest of the party shows up, and we're like, well, time to go confront this shifty magician. He tried to cast suggestion, failed. Obadiah flung a bunch of ball bearings on the floor because he turned invisible. Oddly, for the second time, I think this session, almost murders an innocent NPC. Shot him very badly. And he yells, "Even if you kill me, you'll never get out of here alive," which, is a sus thing to say in our defense, as the Order of Law shows up.
Including Aldetha.
Yeah. Aldetha not pleased.
While you are also disguised as... Hang on.
Yeah,
Am I right? Yes.
I think I might have dropped... I think I'd probably dropped the disguise by then.
Because I have this weird... I feel like I have this memory of Aldetha showing up while you are still disguised as her.
I cast it for a second time when the guards showed up.
Okay, right, yes.
To be like, no, I'm the real Aldetha. And she was just like, no, the fuck you're not. And everyone was like, no, you're not. We know who Aldetha is. And I was like, okay. I didn't remember that it was Aldetha and Rurik that had a private chat.
Sorry, one more thing that he said is that the whole city will turn on you and then we knock him unconscious.
Yeah. Oh, Bearbor.
And looking back, I'm still confused. I'm like, wait, was he bad? Is he not? I don't know. So, you know what? Good job, Jared.
Oh.
This is so fucking funny.
Reading this.
So yeah, I'll let that and Rurik talk privately. I think this was like a meeting of the because there were two sides. Like we were inside a room, and her and the guard were outside, and so we were both like, hey, let's send out a representative from each. So Rurik, of course, went for our group, and Aldetha came for her and the guards. And I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but I told her that we thought that her and Bearbor were in cahoots to kill the council members that didn't agree with us. She told us that we were on the same side, though I guess I noted that it was in a sinister tone. She said all the council members are safe. I said Dawn is dead. She yells for her guards. Vinaya stayed, but everyone else ran.
Yep, everybody else ran, but I dropped my weapons and surrendered.
Yeah, and Vinaya told Aldetha she knows that Dawn is alive. Wait,
yep.
How did you know that? Wait, did I miss a note somewhere?
I did a think. Nope, I mean...
It was a leap of logic.
It was a suspicion, and, yeah, I'm not sure how much I've said about what Aldetha and I talked about after that, which is sure too bad, because I don't remember very much now.
Maybe it'll go into detail in the next page.
It won't, because Jared and I didn't do this at the table.
I see.
We ended up doing it, at lunch at work one day.
Gotcha.
Aww.
So it was actually super duper secret. So Jared had better fucking remember.
Probably does.
Probably got notes for that. Aha, and here was the second boss fight I missed.
And this this is where Devin and AJ return to... we left at okay, there's going to be a day of the audience, and things seem to be, a little spooky, but we're probably still fine. Things are okay too. We're literally criminals now. We need to flee the city. And also one of the council is dead, and I see Devin's muted.
So I said every time I leave for a day and come back, some form of leadership has completely changed their opinion of all of us. Whether it's the crew of our ship or the town of Chronos or whatever. That's all.
Yes.
I have nothing to say.
Devin's not allowed to miss any more sessions.
I haven't since then.
You're holding us.
I once landed in the airport in Seattle and got in a car and had to drop me off at Jared's house because
I remember that.
Yep.
And I was like, he's coming even though he just came from the airport? Like, what?
Stakes are high.
Yeah. talking to my Uber driver, like, can you step on it? You really don't understand what's going to happen if I'm too late to this thing.
You come in 10 minutes late, we're like, TPK, Devin. Sorry, man.
We tried to get to it last session, didn't make it. We had 5 minutes this session. Made it.
It happened.
Oh yeah, because this is the one where we know where Epic's going to be, and I disguise myself as Epic's love interest, Kay.
Yeah.
And I walk up, and Epic is like, I told you, this line of work, I can't be with you. You have to go. And I was just like, yes, but I want to come with you. And also, what are your plans? You can tell me, my love. And then Epic noticed my group closing in a circle around us as we spoke, and it grabbed me and like,
which, as a minor tragedy, we were pretty confident this trap would work because we did feel like Epic had feelings for the kid because he was so reluctant to do the thing for smokework that leveraged him.
And then in wonderful Frost Dagger fashion, Paul hits and crits Epic, which disarms him, which makes him drop this tiny red gem. And when that falls on the ground, a giant fire elemental is spawned from this magical item that is triggered by throwing it on the ground, which alerts all the city guards.
Yeah, I think
Tracy.
That sums up the Frost Daggers pretty well.
Yeah. Tracy grabs Epic and drags him away, giving him lay on hands enough life to be back alive. 4 city guards rush towards us. I change my decide. I run behind the cart, turn into a guard, and join them and say, they went that way. And it works on those guards, but Jared says the other 20 guards that you didn't see running from the other directions chase your friends into the city. So Rurik and I split up and run into the woods, and everybody else runs into the city.
This whole episode has Three Stooges music playing in the background.
I hide successfully while Rurik in full plate armor clomps through the forest, and all 7 guards go after him, but he just destroys them all.
Kills them all.
Because Paul never rolled below an 18 at combat.
Rurik he was ridiculous. So good at hitting so much damage.
No. I think the rest of us hid in a stall with a horse.
Yeah, we all hid in the horse stall and knocked Epic out. I disguised myself as a lumberjack and wandered back out what happened?
Right.
And was immediately arrested because I was using a fake Scottish accent. And Jared, all he did was he rolled the dice, looked at me, and then to the NPC, as the NPCs went, fake accent, and then arrested me. And then they have banned travel into the city where my friends are hiding, so I can't get back into the city because of what we did. It's been locked down. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes, you're brought into question.
Thank you. I went from my first person directly into your first person. I got back into the city because I was arrested. Paul couldn't get back into the city because everyone who knew he had done something bad was dead now. And now it's Tracy.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm trying to remember things. I think how the thing in the stables resolved is that we were able to distract the guards by hitting the horse and making it bolt. So it goes bolting out of the stall and the guards go chasing after it, and then we are able to successfully sneak away. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I remember that for sure.
Okay. But yeah, then okay, I can't. Paul, could you? Well, let's see.
I can just read it if you want me to.
I've got it. It's just that it is tiny on my screen, but I have made it bigger. Let's see. I interrogate Epic. Heading to Fredericksburg. Okay, yep, Epic isn't his real name. He uses lots of fake names. He's happy to die for the cause. There are other plans in motion. His death won't affect all that. Now we know what those are. They want the Torchline to burn. Yep, his managers. Hang on, I fucked up my screen again.
Yeah.
His manager's name was Epic. Oh, so this guy was not actually Epic. This was another lookalike of Epic.
The whole Epic situation. Oh my god.
So, okay, I kind of remembered.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that's true because we didn't kill this guy. I think you let him go. And so I think this was just epic again, and we were dumbasses.
And you lied to us and we believed him.
I think you're right. Like, that's what
we weren't professional murder hobos yet, and so it was just kind of like, well, if you're innocent, on your way, sir.
At what point did you get the ring?
That's when we do finally kill Epic. Like way down the spoilers.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
That was after Fredericksburg.
My memory is really, really bad.
No worries.
Also, this little tidbit up here, he said he worked in the fleet.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We did. Unfortunate, we didn't interrogate him for details there.
Yeah.
It would have been helpful.
We keep letting Epic go.
At that point, though, we were just like, well, fleet information, whatever. We're done with the fleet. That story thread is finished.
We're never gonna need to do anything involving the fleet.
Mirinto didn't want any more of our help. She just left. Yep.
And that's right. So then, Aldetha came into my cell and said, "You're not under arrest, but you are banished from the city. And if you're ever going to come back, you have to call me first. That's going to be an option. Like, you all have to leave now. You're awful."
So Rurik decides to clean himself up, disguise himself, and go check out that gate to get back into the city. Though I guess he didn't know that information at the time, obviously. Rurik, I look.
You get
for
spotted.
Sewers. Oh, I look for the sewers. At the entrance to the sewers and find it. And the guards spot me, but they don't follow me into the sewers.
Vane, who is still in the city, because we managed to avoid, like, because of the horse thing, I think. I met Rowena there, who paid for the debts I had at that inn, I believe. And that's the end of that beat, it looks like.
I think it was kind of like a... I remember vaguely a little bit of a check-in of like, here's what we know, and they're like, well, continue the work if you would like
yeah, and something like,
smokework.
I feel like this was the time when she said, and try to keep them under control or something like that. Which I don't think has ever happened. But it was, I believe, requested.
Duly noted.
Yep.
So Rurik in the sewers hears human voices behind him. He has our lost friend checked in. No, we're going to have to leave without him. Guard patrols are right outside. Going to make a run for it at sundown. So Rurik follows and kills one. They have a safe house list, but I guess we already had that info probably from the disguise kits and stuff. The guy that I had killed knows my name, so I say I'm famous and start taking him on. And there's no, historians have talked about this day for some time. How many smokework agents Rurik beat up in that sewer? The last number that I had heard was something like 704, which is like one for every day of the official calendar.
Every time Paul told this story in character after this day, it went up by a factor of 10.
Yeah, so I think we're at like 604 now. There were 604 smokework agents that Rurik single-handedly defeated in that sewer,
and none of them got away.
Yeah. Oh, except that one. Got away.
There's always one.
And it's really important.
Except for that 100 that got away.
It's really important to note that you always remember the one that got away. You're focused on that one instead of the other 603. So next level, Rurik took a movement speed enhancing ability so that no one would ever get away from him. Yeah, very important. Okay, so Rurik chased him to the edge of the sewer. Guards chased them into the forest, so we know that he got away. Rurik met up with Obadiah in the sewer, and we go back to the inn together. And Rurik really plays up how many guys he defeated.
I
100% accurately.
I was muted, but I just wanted to state for the record that Rurik's speed up ability is terrifying, and that he was bad enough already when he could just double crit a dragon and smash it, and then it became like, also he will chase you down to the ends of the earth, and you will never escape from him. And that's just the beast you made.
Yeah, I am not looking forward. Anyway, no, not going to say that in spoilers. After stakeout, I don't remember his stakeout, but that's okay. We decided to go to Fredericksburg.
Did we stake out one of the sewer exits, hoping that we'd find
Yes, we did.
people who were fleeing?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
The guard on the way out says Aldetha wants us to completely leave really far. As we get to the forest, we find guard corpses. Probably we assumed from the guy that got away from before. Here I have another thing. We stake out the area. Jared moved past it fast, so we were like, we're gonna wait to see if he's there.
Yeah, we did another stakeout. Yeah.
Start going to Fredericksburg. Lots of
this is where Jared was like, "They're all gone. They're
Go
not here. You can move on to Fredericksburg."
And this was where I came back to find we had gone from "you're in trouble" to "you are banned from the entire city. You have fucked up. Leave now. Leave forever."
Vane's also very upset about all of that.
Oh my god. If I can just insert quickly here, I feel like this was when the group identity started to form.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Midway through this arc, when we were fired as everyone's bodyguards and told to leave immediately, and that we wouldn't be paid, and no one liked us or wanted us there, and we all just sort of went, "But it's our job. We have to protect you. It's our job. No, you can't make us leave. We have a job to do." And they're like, "We're your employers. Fuck off." And we're like, "No, the universe has given us a job, and it's to be heroes."
Rowena has still said please.
Excuse me, we are our employers, and we say that we're fired if we leave here.
Yeah.
Okay, Lauren, owner and CEO of the Frost Dagger.
Yeah, it was just this like, that was where it became like this so scrappy, so dumb, but also like, that was where we went from being just mercenaries pretty much at that point to being attempting.
We decided we were going to save the Torchline.
Yeah.
And it's weird because again, like in Chronos, it felt like we did a whole lot of nothing, and then at the end there, it's like I feel like we did something. Like we fought some smokework agents, we did stuff with Epic. Like
I think the problem was, as with most things, the things we accomplished were not like readily visible to like 99% of the population because we were fighting a secret organization that lived underground and left no trace.
And even the people
we had a success, we had to convince people that we needed them.
And even the people that did know about it also knew about how that actually looked to everyone else, which is us setting fires to like the general vicinity.
And like our way of saving the grand audience from smokework was to ruin the grand audience for everyone and make sure that it couldn't go ahead.
Yep.